Okay. Okay, I think it's working now. YouTube was being real weird there. All right. Okie dokie. Good morning, everybody. It's not technically the morning, I suppose, but it is what it is. I was having some challenging difficulties with Steam today, but I did manage to finally wrangle it to get some what I think are probably pretty good store numbers. So for anyone who is interested in doing Steam analysis, the people over at Valve have decided in their dubious wisdom to provide extremely weird and inconsistent access to things, and for some reason they have a JSON endpoint for Steam reviews. So I don't know why this exists. It doesn't exist for anything else. I mean, they do have a JSON endpoint for like app information itself, but that's really limited. Like, you can't get any information about like what the developer is or what languages it has or anything. But you can get some information from like the store endpoint. But for some reason, they do have a reviews endpoint. I don't know. Anyways, this one seems like it's mostly correct, so we're gonna go with that. Okay, what else are we dealing with today? Right, okay, so I've also revised how I'm doing reviews, and I am going to use, okay, check-in. So this is my 1 month check-in for stuff. I'm revising how I'm doing check-ins, and also how I'm doing estimates. So I am going to use review numbers as estimates, because otherwise it just gets really messy, because there's like 3 or 4 different variables that I'm playing around with, like how many people per sale do I estimate is going to be a reviewer, plus also like the number of possible reviews that it's going to have and what is the range and all that. So I'm going to translate everything into just review numbers now, because those are the actual numbers we have. So for the two days that we're going to review today, we're going to be looking at the games that came out on the 17th of January and the 18th of January, because I didn't do the 17th yesterday because I realized my review numbers were wrong. So we're going to do 17th of January, 18th of January, and then 18th February. So we don't have very many games for 18th February. We only have 14 of them. And also we're having one of the bad days today. We are over 50% no reviews for these games. So, right. How did I change how this thing works? Right. So I converted my initial like numerical estimates in terms of sales back into estimates of reviews. So this is maybe not like my most accurate estimates. I don't really care. It gets to pretty close to what my numbers are, I think, would have been if I had been estimating in review numbers rather than actual sales numbers. So we have my estimates in reviews, and then we have the actual review count here. And then this column is how much did I over or underestimate stuff. So overestimates are in orange and underestimates are in blue. So you can see that I am mostly overestimating things. If the game started with no sales and ended with no sales, it is in here as no sales. So for a surprising number of games on the 18th, and I think on the 17th, yeah, for a surprising number of games on the 18th, 17th, and 18th, I put in estimates that were considerably higher than 0, and a lot of games that started at 0 ended at 0. So the situation is more dire than I thought it was, I think. And this was not clear the way that I was doing reviews before. So this is important information, I think. That fairly often I'm going like, oh yeah, this is probably going to get, some reviews. And it turns out no, because the reviews that they had were not actual Steam sale reviews, right? So this one says, hey, I've got 4 reviews. But if we actually check out this game, which we're going to do in a bit, they don't actually count because they're like pre-sales, or they're free reviews. They're reviews that nobody paid for. So I'm able to filter those out now. So hopefully my estimates and everything will get better over time. But for now, this is where we are. It's all a bit messy. Remember, the point is the process, not not the destination. So that's what we're doing. And also, I hope everybody is having a good day. Wow, looks like I lost everybody. Looks like there's nobody in chat, so I'm just talking to myself, but that's fine. I like talking to myself. Okay, we're gonna get going. So let's just double check that I'm putting things in the right place so that everyone can actually see them. All right. Okay. So here we go. Our first game we're going to review is called Activate, and we looked at this yesterday. And here we are, Activate. Yes, which is this rather strange little symbol-based puzzle game that I could never figure out how it worked. It had one review on the first day, and I estimated that it would stick with one review. I didn't think it would do particularly well because it was so incomprehensible, and I was bang on. It stuck with one review. That's where it is, which is a bit of a pity because it looks like there's something there, but it's hard to say what because it's difficult to parse. Our second game we're going to look at is Alien Egg Ascent, which had one review on day of, and I estimated it would get 3, but it actually got 4. So I was down by, I underestimated it by 25%. It's this little game where you play as an egg that can jump, like you're doing like sort of physics jumps with a little egg. All right, I thought that was kind of neat. All right, our next one is one that I wildly overestimated, unfortunately. So this was the kind of cool black and white RPG game, and it had 6 reviews on day of, except I think many of those 6 reviews were from, and this was the one that told me like, oh, I'm getting my review numbers wrong, because almost all of their reviews are from people who received it for free. So these 6 reviews on day of were probably not that. Were probably from people who received it for free. So my initial estimate in terms of the number of games that number of reviews it would get was 20. I was wildly over. It was they only ended up with 4. So that's a bit of a bummer. And again, I think I would attribute this largely to comprehensibility problems. It's difficult to tell what we're going to do in the game based on this page. Next one is Ball Z. Roll our balls into a hole and do it. Oh, right. This was the terrain sculpting game where you're like making balls fall into holes. It had no reviews on day of, and I thought it might get 1, and it has ended up with 1. So A+ for me. It has 1 review from someone who received it for free. Yeah. I don't know. Kind of an interesting game idea, anyways. All right, our next game was Blink and the Vacuum of Space. I do not remember this one. Ooh, put that in wrong. Blink and the Vacuum of Space. Oh, this is a VR game where you have like a magic vacuum. Right, yes, you're a little robot with a magic vacuum. It had no reviews, and I thought that it would end up with about 7. Like I estimated about like 300 sales or something for this one, because I was assuming that because it was in VR, it would do pretty well. And unfortunately, that is wildly overestimated. I estimated, way too much. So, too bad. I think I'm wrong about the fact that like people are actively seeking out VR games, and I'm gonna have to factor that in as I move along. Our next game is Bullet Chase, which is this little running around game where you're trying to avoid getting killed by these little skulls. Right. It had 1 review day of, and I estimated that it would get 3, but it just stuck with 1. It didn't get any more sales. And that seems to be fairly consistent. If you are not getting any sales day of, fairly often you just don't get any more, which is a bummer. All right, next one is Chiasmal. Right. Which was this little space shooter. It got 1 review, and I estimated it would get 13, but it turns out... Wait, why is this... Okay, well, now my numbers are off again. Oh my god. What's happening here? Let's see. Is anyone actually in chat? Okay, one person is. Hi, D-Surge. Hi, Para. Yes. Okay, well, it looks like my numbers are off again. Why are my numbers off again? What's going on here? Okay, hold on. What's happening here? Yeah, no, these look like totally legitimate reviews. So what's going on, JavaScript endpoint? Okay, I'm annoyed. I'm gonna actually I'm gonna take a look at this and see what is going on with the actual JSON endpoint for this app. Why are you fucking up like this? It's saying no reviews. Why are you saying no reviews? If I remove purchase type Steam? Nope. Oh, this sucks so bad. Oh, I'm sorry, everybody. This is really a bummer. I spent like an hour today trying to figure this out, or longer. I've been at this since like 11 in the morning when I wanted to go stream, and then I realized, oh crap, I never figured out what went wrong with the review numbers. Why are you lying and saying this game has no reviews? Because like for other games, like if we check out our next game, let's say Cracks in Hell, this is going to give me numbers, right? Yep. This one is going to say what? What on earth? Why is this? Well, looks like I can't trust my numbers again, everybody. It's very weird. It is not, yeah. Are counted only after a while. Yeah, but if they're only counted after a while, it's been a month. Like, what's really frustrating is that like the numbers... I don't get it. Hi, CC. I'm going a little crazy here because I can't get the numbers to work properly. Gosh darn it. Like, am I going to be in a situation where I legitimately have to like enter these manually because Steam is just going to lie about everything? This is so weird. Why is this giving no review? Like, that's so bizarre. There are no reviews that match the filter set above. So maybe there's some other filter that's on by default that is excluding these games? But that doesn't make any sense because it is showing here. Well, okay. Wait. This game is free. Could that be it? Hold on. I'm going to try and find this out in real time, everybody. Getting all reviews using Steamworks. Some filter room. Yeah, I think probably what the filter is that it is defaulting to Steam reviews. Yeah, get reviews. Right. Right. Okay, let's try this. Or just type all. There we go. Okay, so I think what I have to do for this one is I have to say, like, if... Yes. Okay, so I think it's if the game is free, then I have to get all. If the game isn't free, then I have to get just Steam ones. I think that's how they're working them. Because, like, yeah. Yeah? Yeah. Gosh darn it. Okay. Well... Huh. All right, second day in a row, we're going to cancel the reviews. We're going to do this one again. Or no. No, I'm going to keep going, but I'm going to actually write in the reviews. It is pretty weird how that works, yeah. Um, yeah, it's strange. It is strange. I'm just going to double check that everybody else is correct. Like, because there aren't that many free games, right? There's like 3 of them, and I can just write them in for today at least, because I don't want to have to like have 3 days worth of reviews left. That seems like bad. Let's see. Cracks in Hell. Do you have 9 reviews? You do. Okay, let's try another one. Showrunner. You have 39 reviews. Yes, 39 reviews. Okay, so you know what we're gonna do? We're gonna say for the games that are free, I will actually just read the numbers from the Steam store page and I will write them in. Okay, and we'll do it that way. Did I have any other? Okay, no. Okay, so this was... Alright, so they have, actually, for Chiasmo, 5 positive, 1 negative. There we go. So, for this one, let's go back up here. Right, this was this little space shooter. I estimated that they would get 13 reviews, and in fact, they got 6. So I overestimated by about half. And yeah, as you can see, I am mostly overestimating, which is a bummer. Okay, moving on to Cracks in Hell, which is not free to play, and also for some reason keeps having this. There we go. This was the rather strange tower defense game where it looks like Diablo, but actually it's tower defense, and you're like spawning heroes to defend yourself. What did I guess? I guessed 10 and it got 9. So this is one of my more my closer estimates, and I still overestimated though. Okay, next one is Deceptus. Okay, it was a... I don't remember this one. Maybe they changed their trailer, I'm guessing. Alright, it's like a sort of like... Reminds me of Worms, actually, though I guess the environment isn't destructible. But yeah, your little dudes shooting each other. It had 4. I estimated 17. And now it's saying none, because it's free to play. Right, so this is off. It's actually 11 and 3. So relatively close to my estimate, actually. That was within 20%. So, yeah. So people were liking this one. Okay, cool. Moving on to Dungeon Rite. Dungeon Rite, right. It was this very, very old school RPG game. It had none on the day of, and I estimated 3, but it has actually stuck around at none. It looks like nobody played this, which is a bummer. Yeah, that sucks. I'm sorry, Unicorn Den, that really blows. Alright. Next one is Ensora, which is a side-scrolling shooter. It had 2 on day of, and I estimated 13, and it ended up with 10. So pretty close to where I am. It did finally get over the 10 review hump to get to mostly positive, so that's good. I wonder if they'll sell any more. Coming back in a year would be really interesting. Okay, next one is Epic Race: The Stadium. Oh, right, this was the sort of like surreal neon racer game. I liked how this one looked. It had one review, and I estimated it would get 3, but it actually just has 1. So it does not look like it sold many from day of, meaning it's only probably sold between 30 and 60 copies. Again, kind of sad there. Then there's this one, which has an ethnic slur in the name. Just a surprising number of games with ethnic slurs in the name on Steam these days. It had no reviews. I estimated it would get 2, but it stuck with none. So, all right. Next one is Firelanders. This was one of the bigger games, and right, this was the terraforming game. Yes, top-down terraforming game, but I said it was a little hard to understand what you were doing. Like, there were lots of different units and stuff, but it was kind of hard to see how they worked and what they did. It had almost 40 reviews day of, and I estimated that it would sell a whole lot more, and it has, but not as much as I thought. I estimated that it would sell, I think my estimate was like 20,000 copies or something. And it hasn't, but it hasn't done badly, right? It's between 7 and 14,000 or so. Still, I almost estimated twice as much as it actually sold. So I hope they keep going and they keep updating it. I think they'll get to 20,000 eventually. All right. Next one is Heart Attack. Ghosts in the dark, in order to survive, you need to light your way. Right. So this was a spooky walking around in the dark game. It had 67 reviews day of. I estimated that it would get to 200, and it didn't. I was over twice as many. I estimated twice as much as it did. It seems like it has picked up some vitriolic responses, but mostly within the first few days. Okay. Next one is Heart Attack, or is Horror Haze. Horror Haze was another spooky walking around in the dark game, but this one was in like a fantasy castle. It had 1, and I estimated that it would get 10, but it only got 4. So it seems like I am roughly estimating 2 times as much for horror games. That's too bad. Okay, then we have Just Drive, which was right, sort of a little Tonka truck driving game, and it had this sort of very weird description. I estimated it would sell 2, but it has in fact sold nothing. So it looks like nobody played or bought this game, which sucks. Okay, next one is Kitten Kingdom. Right, which is this very weird little cat-based platformer. It had 1 negative review day of. I estimated that it would have 1, and it still has 1. So I was correct in my estimate on this. All right, next one is Let's Pet Pets. I think this was the petting zoo game? No. Right, this was the little idle game about petting cute animals. It had none day of. I estimated 7, and I was wildly underestimating this one. So this is a trend that I have noticed, which is I don't understand idle games, and they do very well. So yeah, this is a idle or clicker game, right? It had none day of. Now it has 60. This is sold somewhere between like 2,000 and 3,000 copies, and I 100% thought it would not do particularly well. I guessed it, I think like 400 or something for this one. Yeah. I guessed 200, and it has sold like 2,000. So neat. Yeah. People like idle games. I don't know what to say. Moving on. Right. Can't remember what this one was. Okay, so this is a sort of surrealist first-person not shooter. I think it was like a... Oh, it is a shooter, right. Okay. So this is a surrealist first-person shooter. I estimated it would get 20, and I overestimated. It only ended up with 6. So that's Too bad. For Scott. That sucks. Okay. Next one is Pocket Civ. Solitaire civilization tabletop game. Plan your moves, build your empire. Right. And this was, I remember my specific review of this one, which was, all right, this looks cool, but you haven't made the argument as to why would I play this game and not Civilizations? I still guess that it would get 17 reviews, so it would get somewhere in the range of 500 sales, and it hasn't. It only got, it had one on day of, and it stuck with one, so it looks like it has not gotten any more. Which is too bad. All right, next one is Recall. This is another one that I actually underestimated. Right, this was a memory alteration game, like a sort of walking around and talking to people game. Thought it was cool. But I seem to remember I was like, this looks really cool, but it's confusing. I really liked the art style. So I guess that it would sell 17 and have 17 reviews, and instead it has 21. So I underestimated it by about 20%. I was in the ballpark in terms of how many sales I guessed it would have, but I did underestimate it, so nicely done. Next one is Retail Wars. Right, this is a free-to-play one, so the numbers I have are wrong. Let's see what the numbers are. 7 positive, 1 negative. Wow, so this is one where I was actually bang on the money. This is a little 4-player couch co-op game where you're serving customers, like you're picking up stuff and throwing them at customers to like have them buy it. I guess that it would sell 8, and it would have 8 reviews, and it has 8 reviews. So, hooray! Prophecy fulfilled. All right. Next one is Scrap Games. Scrap Games. Oh, right. This is the scam. So I think I did mention this before, but for anyone who is just turning in for now, this game was a scam. It was originally a series of, or at least allegedly, this is the information I have received. I don't know for sure. Parody in Minecraft, but allegedly, these people created a bunch of fake trailers of different games and then picked the one that did the best and paid someone or made it themselves, but they did not make the game that they made the trailer for. So this one had a wildly incongruous number of followers to its total reviews. And I think... right, and then it had some suspicious reviews when it came out. So I guessed that it would get 17 reviews because I did not know at the time the story behind the game, and instead it has only gotten 4. So I wildly overestimated it. Moving on to one called Showrunner. Right, this is the TV show making game. Right, I remember liking this idea where you're making different TV shows and building sets and stuff for them. I thought that was really cool. Unfortunately, I kind of really overestimated it. It had 14 reviews day of, and it now has 39, so it's not doing terribly, but I guessed that it would get up to 333, so that was overestimating it, unfortunately, by quite a lot, by about 8 times. That's a bummer, because I did really like this idea. I thought that was very cool. And it isn't early access, so it will probably continue to do well if they keep updating it. Missing a lot of key features. So yes, it looks like they might be able to keep going if they and possibly get up to the number that I'm estimating if they keep going. So I hope they do. All right, next one is String Along. A fun, relaxing arcade game. You control 2 dots and connected by a piece of string. Yeah, this is one I thought was kind of neat too. Had a very simple mechanic where you're just controlling 2 dots with like the thumbsticks, and then you have to like avoid getting hit by the dots, and also like hit the dots with the string line. So I thought that was a cool idea, but it had no reviews day of. I guess it would get to 3, but it has only got to 1, so I overestimated it as well. Unfortunate. Next one, Surviving the Abyss. Right, this was a big city builder. Right. So this was like Build Rapture from Bioshock. Underwater sea building game. It had 81 day of, and I estimated that it would get to 2,000. But it only got to 447. So I did overestimate it, but it still did quite well, right? It still got between 13,000 and 26,000 reviews. This is one by Paradox. It's still in early access. I definitely think that it is eventually going to get to this number, but it could take a year or 2 to get there. It still looks really cool. I don't really play early access games, but when this one actually comes out, I think I might play it. All right, next one is The Simulacrum. Deck builder with procedurally generated cards. Right. Yeah, okay. So this one came out. It had 5 reviews on day of, and I estimated it would get to 33, but it has actually gotten to 35. So I was pretty close, but I underestimated it a little bit. Interesting. I'm surprised that I was that close on this one. All right, moving on to the next one, which is Theseus Protocol. Theseus Protocol, deck building roguelike, where right, with cute little anime girls with like guns and stuff. It had 78 day of, and I guess it would get to 667, which it did not. It only got to 188. So again, overestimating it. I tend to do that, I think. So it's not like I understand card games or something. It's just, I'm guessing this was just random chance that I got as close as I did on the last one. Still not bad between 6 and 12,000, but not great. I have no idea whether or not I can pull any information out of how well this game did. Yeah. Okay, next one is called Umbrella Escape. Oh, right, yes. Okay, so this is the one where you're a little man with an umbrella and you're like falling down through clocks. And it's a 1-button game where you press the button to like open your umbrella and slow down. I didn't think it would sell anything, and it hasn't. I mean, clever idea, but it's not a kind of game that would sell on Steam particularly well. Right, this is a weird third-person exploration game where you're trying to find a gun. It's called Unreal Gundy. Had 4 reviews they have, and I guess that it would get to 7 reviews, but because it is free-to-play, my numbers are all fucked up. It actually got to 8. So nice job, Unreal Gundy. So I underestimated it a little bit. Cool. Next game is What is a Snowman Made of? Atmospheric minigame that lets you explore a snow-capped yard in which you build your very own snowman. Ha! Cool. My numbers on this one are also wrong. So this is 21 and 4. So wildly underestimated this one. I guess a lot of people want to build snowmen. So I only guessed 4, but it actually got to 25. So nice job then. I did think it was cute though. All right. Next one is World Championship Boxing Manager. Boxing World is at your fingertips. Right. Boxing Manager game. It had 9 reviews to have, and I guess that it would get to 67, but it did not. It only got to 28. So I guess for like mid-tier games, I'm mostly underestimating by about between double and triple. Or I'm mostly overestimating by between double and triple. So I said 67, and it was only 28. Okay. And last one for that day is Endless Stars. Right, which was a rather strange starship game that was entirely in menus. Right, yes. So I estimated that we had 2, but instead they just stuck with the one that they already had. So yeah, it doesn't look like they got many more sales from that day, which is a pity. Okay, well, I think just to mix it up, we're going to go on to the games for today. We'll go through and do those, and then we'll come back and we'll do the review for the 18th, where I also wildly overestimated most things. So instead, we're going to go to the games for today, of which we don't have many. I think I already said this, but we only have 14 that we're going to be looking at today. All right. I'm just stretching a little bit. Sorry if I made funny noises with the microphone there. Okay, our next game is Abby's Playground. Or our first game for today is Abby's Playground. I'm going to just close those. We don't need them anymore. Here we go. Let's move this down a little bit, shall we? There we go. Abby's Playground. Okay. Do you want to roam in an open world, discover new things, find new weapons, kill monsters, and upgrade your character? Maybe. That walk cycle is kind of rough, I would say. This is, despite appearances, not the Unreal Tournament basic character. It is its own little white robot thing. I mean, some of the environments are kind of cool looking, but it looks pretty basic. Let's see. Have you made anything else? Abby's gone. Okay, wait, hold on. Let's actually do the number stuff. This is for sale for $2.59. It is developed and published by Abby's gone. It has 1 review. And no, Abby's Playground is their first game. So, in terms of reviews, we have 1 review in Japanese, I think? Yes. Everything you feel from the videos and images is true. Everything that can be expected is in the game. We will never exceed your expectations. So, I guess it's a rather philosophical review on this one, though they did end up being positive. All right, let's check their charts. Someone checked this out on Twitch. 294 followers. Maybe 1 person played it, and the store page went up on February 1st. So they got 9 followers. Right. I think my low estimate is 1. Remember, I'm now estimating in terms of number of possible reviews. So I am going to be providing a range. So I think my low estimate is 1, that they don't sell anymore from this one. And I think my high estimate is going to be 4. All right, best of luck, Abby's gone. Moving on to our next game, which is called Digital Pierrot Museum. Digital Pierrot Museum, and it is a free-to-play game developed by Dia Sendi, Ulred Dalto, Donaldo Germengi. I'm definitely mispronouncing some of those. I apologize. And published by Digital Pierrot Museum. Digital Pierrot Museum is a free virtual museum presenting the experience of navigating through a museum of digital and multimedia art through VR and Windows platform. Okay, so this is a VR game, and it looks like it's just a museum where you walk around and look at art. That's kind of cool. Probably of these people, I'm guessing, or maybe of their friends. I don't know. I mean, that would be kind of cool. I'd make a game for my friends and be like, hey, do you all want to have like a virtual like art gallery that we can put on Steam? I think that'd be neat. Crow's here. Hi, Crow. Crow is our only review. And what a worthless review it is I don't own a VR headset. Crow, come on. If you don't own a VR headset, at least don't review VR games. Unnerving music for it being a museum game. All right. Okay. Well, might as well check the charts. Let's see when this one went up. I'd kind of like to know the story behind this one, like where the art came from and what the intention was. Because they're just saying like, we want to give you the experience of being in a museum. Yeah, okay. A couple of people played it. Let's see. Went up on the 7th of January. 11 followers. What am I going to guess on this one? I mean, it does have one positive review from Crow, so I'll fix that. I'm going to say 1. I'm going to say high estimate 8. It is free. Okay, cool. Our next game is Fighting Pudding. Okay, now what? Hold on. Let's guess here. What kind of game is Fighting Pudding going to be? I mean, the obvious one is it's a fighting game where you're different kinds of desserts fighting each other. I don't think it's going to be that, though. If I had to guess, I'm going to say puzzle platformer, but it is somehow food themed. I'm correct. It is a puzzle platformer that is somehow food themed. Okay. Okay, so this game, Fighting Pudding, is for sale for $4.99, developed by Kuma and published by Kuma Softworks. It has picked up no reviews, positive or negative. All the levels look very similar. Like, we have like silhouette levels. There's like lots of lasers coming at you, and you are literally like a creme brulee pudding. The game is very difficult. Test your brain physically. Okay. Let's check their charts. And February 4th. Cool. And they picked up 4 followers. So, my low estimate is 0, and I think my high estimate is going to be 3. Best of luck, Kuma. Moving on to our next game, which is called Flight Level. Flight Level. Which has picked up no reviews, is on sale for $25.99, developed and published by Tower House. Flight Level is an air traffic control simulator made by real radar controllers to give everyone a chance to experience what the job is like. The game also teaches the core concepts of ATC and lets players work together in multiplayer. Wow, this really is just like an air traffic control simulation. Fascinating. I have no idea how air traffic control works, but I assume the people who made this do. It's in early access. There are no reviews. I wonder if there are people for whom this is like their whole jam, right? Like, I know that like there's lots of people who love piloting games who don't necessarily are not necessarily pilots themselves, but are like big into that fantasy. But I wonder if there are people who are like, yes, I'm really into air traffic control. Like, it sounds like I'm joking, but I'm not. Like, I genuinely wonder if that is like a demographic that exists. Doesn't look like there's many looks like there was a very brief Twitch play about last week. I imagine for like a preview, and a couple of people are playing this. Okay. Store page went up on the 29th of October. And they did get a few followers. 154 followers. 1.398 per day. Like, clearly someone is into this. The cost of this game is quite high, which for a game as niche as this makes sense, right? Like, if you're making a really niche game and you understand that like you're not going to make many sales, you do have to charge more money for it. That's why a lot of like naval simulators are like $40, right? Where it's like, we're only going to sell 1,000 copies of this, so we need to make our money off of that. Okay. I have been wildly overestimating. Okay, so my minimum number is 2. I think my maximum number is 10. Best of luck, Tower House. Okie dokie. Our next game is called GameDev Life Simulator. Oh no, this is gonna personally hurt me. In this simulator, okay, and when was this coming out? Okay, so this is on sale for $19.49, down from $25.99, developed and published by Octo Games. It has 36 positive reviews and 6 negative reviews for a total of 42. In the simulator of a game developer, you will be able to understand all of the subtleties of this profession. I don't hit walls with hammers very often. Understand how the game industry works and all the difficulties of one developer. We got the meme guy there? Okay. I guess you can play the game that you're making. Rather bizarrely, you can spray paint your walls. You have a Bitcoin mining rig, I guess? Okay, I don't know. I think this one's a joke, maybe. This is so stupid. Shady developer who buys reviews. First 28 reviews were left minutes after launch and were all positive and very similar in writing style. Bad grammar, all very shallow, no criticism. That aside, the game is pretty bad itself. Impossible to get money by developing and ignoring the crypto aspect. Power goes out way too often. Huh. This one is a weirdly like... I don't understand. When I looked at the title of the game, I thought, what is it like to be in game dev? It turned out to be no more difficult than living my own life, just as sad. Played for 1.5 hours, played, then went back and played more. Okay. I don't know enough to be able to necessarily say whether or not the reviews, some of the reviews for this might be fake or not. Though, if they're not, some of these reviews are pretty basic. All right, let's check the charts. We have 34 people playing it right now with 69 at peak, so some people are playing this. We have 269 followers. That is a very straight line in terms of follower count. Remarkably straight. Hold on, if I said this showed up on February 11th. Okay, but it wasn't then, it was actually January 22nd. So maybe they just started really advertising it a lot? Right. Okay. Sorry. I'm just trying to, I'm just thinking. All right. What am I going to guess for this one? It is currently at 42. So, if I assume that possibly that straight line of followers may not have been entirely authentic, and some of the reviews may also not be the most enthusiastic customers, then I would say probably total reviews is 45 maybe. But if I assume that they are all authentic, then let's say my high estimate is 80. Cool. All right, next game is called Going Deep. Which has 1 positive review, no negative reviews, for a total of 1. It is for sale for $5.19, down from $6.49. Developed and published by From Zero. Going Deep is a game played with a third-person view. Going Deep contains action and horror genres. Using different materials, you can craft, upgrade weapons, armors, knives, pouches, ammos, and more. No period. Okay. Craft for survive. Looks like we have a bunch of different weapons. Okay, we have a limited ammo system. What are we shooting? Are we shooting zombies? Oh, looks like there's some fart gas. Yes. Okay, so there's sort of like necromorph monster kind of things. Okay. Let's see what the one... okay, we have 2 reviews, but one of them is a pre-release review. It's pretty good, but I still don't like playing it. Those who like to fight zombies can try. Okay. What does this one say? They reference Resident Evil. If you like the Resident Evil style, this game is for you. There's good action in the game. You are always at war, no idle talk. Okay, so it looks like it's just a combat game with no narrative, really. Okay, let's check their charts. Up to 3 people played it recently. As of 30 minutes ago. Alright, July 6th, 2022. And in that time, they picked up 29 followers, so not very many. Okay, I'm gonna say low estimate is 2, high estimate is 9? Yes. Yep, that's gonna be my estimate. Alright, best of luck from 0. Our next one is Horror Adventure, which has 1 negative review for a total of 1. It is for sale for $11.04, down from $12.99, developed by Yash Future Tech Solutions Private Limited, and published by the same. Horror Adventure is an interactive experience set in a procedurally generated haunted house. You're a paranormal investigator, and you find yourself exploring what appears to be an old, abandoned manor. And the capsule is of various people, like, just huge mouth screaming. Ooh. That's spooky. Okay. Alright. Is this... No, it's not a VR... It doesn't actually explicitly say a VR game, but the mouse is moving really... like the flashlight beam. The flashlight beam is moving in an interesting way. If it's not VR. It definitely looks like VR. It doesn't say you need one. Partial controller support. Nope. Doesn't tell us much. Let's see if we have a review. The optimization is poor, especially the sensitivity is too fast. And then when it is optimized, we'll call it back. Okay, so I think they're going to do another review if and when this game gets more optimized. Okay, let's check the reviews. Or let's not check the reviews, let's check the charts. Here we go. A little bit of play on Twitch, but to very small streamers, it looks like. And went up on the 4th of February. Picked up 19 followers. I think my low estimate is going to be 1. It is possible that they get no more reviews than this. My high estimate is going to be 18. Oh, interesting. They have released another game. Same people. Our next game is made by the same people. It is called Maze, The Amazing Labyrinth. And it has no reviews. And is also on sale for $11.04, down from $12.99. Let's see what this one looks like. Very different. All right, Maze the Amazing Labyrinth is interesting puzzle game for everyone. Get ready to face different types of challenges in the game. That's a pretty vague description. But yeah, it looks like a marble game, maybe? A little hard to tell what we're doing. There was a cannon in that one. Extremely short store page. And no reviews. So, no data for this game. Wow. Interesting. Alright, it also went up February 4th, but it got no followers of any kind. Or 1 follower. Precisely 1. Okay. So my low estimate is 0. I think my high estimate is 1 for that one. Maybe 2. Alright. Moving on to our next game, which is called Misteri Rumah Pak RT. Yep, that's the name, I guess. It has no reviews. It's free to play. It's by Sekiwan Studios and published by the same. I cannot guess what this one is. Misteri Rumah Pak RT is a horror-themed action puzzle multiplayer game where players must explore a mysterious mansion and solve puzzles and escape by finding keys, either alone against a computer-controlled antagonist or with up to 4 players in co-op mode. This is in early access. And yeah, 3rd person. Okay. What's that saying there? Before your flashlight running out. Okay. Bleep, do better. I want my money back now. Not worth the time I spent on this lunch lady budget game. Crow is here. You play as Jesse Eisenberg when he was bald for that Superman movie. And you're being chased by a creature that is a combination of the Pokemon Machoke and the creepypasta monster the Rake. Okay, so it looks like the game might have a few problems, though some people do like it. Actually, that's interesting. Why did I pick up so few reviews? Oh, it's a free-to-play game, so my numbers are wrong. Okay, it has 4 positive and 2 negative for a total of 6. It did not actually get no reviews. My bad. Okay, let's check the charts. Has 8 followers. Come on now. There we go. 8 followers, and went up February 3rd. So, I kind of wonder what's up with this one. Right? That is a really strange name, very odd capsule image. I think there's definitely sort of a language barrier, I think. At least for English. These people are not native English speakers, I don't think. But it's free to play. So, and they have updated it. So they have a patch out for this. Yeah, I don't understand. I don't know this one. Second One Studios. Have you made anything else? No, this is your only game. All right. I'm going to say low estimate is 10. High estimate is 28, I guess. Best of luck, Second One Studios. Moving on to our next game, which is called Neko Dating Sim. Interesting. This has sexual content, so why is this not in? We're gonna get away from this one as quickly as possible. Why is that not? Oh, I don't have it hidden. I'm not hiding red light games. Oh no. Okay, red light games. Away with ye. I'm glad that was not one of the grosser ones. My bad. Okay. All right. So our actual next game is called Parasomnia. Parasomnia has 10 positive reviews and 1 negative reviews for a total of 11. It is for sale for $3.50, down from $3.89. Developed by Little Memes Production and published by the same. Okay, where to run, where to go. You can't stop the horror is close. Developed by Unreal Engine. This is a cool capsule image, but it's maybe a little too small. It seems like it was developed for a square capsule image, but we actually have the sort of widescreen capsules on Steam. Lots of information about Unreal 5. I don't know if you have to do that. What are nightmares? Okay, so we've got a running around in the dark game, again, as is a lot of running around in the dark games today. Man, that is a lot of head bob. That is maybe more head bob than I would do. Okay, so we have concrete tunnels. Be on the alert. Okay. I mean, I like the sort of grimy analog horror idea of having this all be a recording. But man, that is a lot of head bob. Not sure I'd go there. Are we going to see a monster? We got strawberry jam thrown on our camera. Still no monster. Okay, it looks kind of spooky. Your task is to get out alive. You are not a fighter, you can only run. In Parasomnia, you have to make a choice where to turn. Each choice will depend on what will be waiting for you on the other side. No period. Review, funny game. But, I mean, this person played for 3 hours and then went back and played more. Great atmospheric horror. The atmosphere in the game is very scary and intense. A really scary game. Wow. Okay. Store went up on August 10th of 2021. So this game has been in production for some time. Picked up only 90 followers. As far as like running around in the dark with a flashlight games go, this one doesn't look technically bad. Like in terms of, it looks like mechanically competent, right? And I'm sure that they have some pretty great atmospheric horror stuff going on. But in terms of selling this game, where is their hook? I don't see one. So I think I'm going to say my low estimates are 12, which sounds really, really low, but that is, I have been over. If we look at what I was doing in our review chapter for this video, I was wildly overestimating horror games sales. So I'm going to be very conservative. I'm going to say 12, which is very low, and I'm going to say upper end 18. All right, best of luck, little memes. Next game is Question Mark, which has no reviews, is on sale for $11.04, down from $12.99, and is developed and published by Rangel Oblivion. Question Mark is a physics-based, logic-based puzzle-solving game with a first-person view. The goal is always to overcome challenges and move forwards. And we have a trailer that starts inside of a menu. It's a magnifying glass. There's a giant Tritrimo. Unclear what we're doing or why. Okay. You brought the Warhammer Azilihu down onto a button, and then some stuff exploded. Okay, this is all a bit confusing. Almost no information on the store page. Let's check their charts. They have 2 followers, and the store page went up on the 5th of February. Rangel Oblivion, have you made anything else? No. Okay, well, the capsule has a different name on it. It has the name Interrogakao ? And then something that is entirely unindicative of what kind of game it is. So, I'm guessing that this is a first game by a young person. That would be my guess. And in that case, congratulations, you made a game and it is on Steam. Unfortunately, I don't think it's going to sell particularly well because it is a little confusing. The capsule is probably not helping you there, and you do have to describe your game more and make it clear what you're actually doing in the game. So, I'm going to guess my low for this one is 0. My high estimate for this one is 2. Best of luck. Moving on to our last game, which is free to play and has incorrect review information. So we'll see what that is in a second. It is free to play. It is by Andre Gonzalez and published by Amino Acid Studios. So let's see what the actual review numbers are, because I am wrong about this. Okay, it has 1 review. 1 review, which is positive. Okay, so it has 1 positive review, no negative reviews, for a total of 1. A desolate and derelict station has been uncovered. You've been tasked with investigating, only to find the station's automated defenses are still active. How is it still ... alive, in quotation marks, ? Pilot your ship and find out. Can you make it out alive, again, in quotation marks? This helps me get through school. Hope you enjoy. Well, I mean, alright, cool. This looks like an old school original Game Boy game, where I think it's mostly like a space shooter, I think. There's no trailer, which is probably not going to help you, Andre. You got to make a trailer, even if it's kind of even if I know it's tricky to do, because people, they need to see the game in motion to understand what it is. Yeah, this is an arcade space shooter. You pilot a ship equipped with bullet buddies. I don't know what that means. Take on an onslaught of attacks from alien-like automata and organisms. Exclamation mark, question mark. Yeah. A little bit too hard for my liking, even without much playtime. Seems very fun. All right. I mean, this looks really cool. Excellent job, Andre. Let's see. Let's check your charts. And February 5th as well. Interesting. Okay. They got to 9 followers, though. And they have 1 review. Okay. Something with space. Question mark, exclamation mark, exclamation mark. Yeah. So, I think I'm going to guess, unfortunately, only 1, because this page is not really set up to sell the game particularly well. The capsule is it's not telling us anything about the game. You need a spaceship. You need something that indicates what kind of game it is. And ideally something without pixelation this big. People are probably not going to click on this game. And also you need a trailer. So it is a free-to-play game, though. So I am going to say probably high estimate is 6. It's going to be my guess. Best of luck, on Andre. I look forward to seeing what you do next. And that's it for our reviews for the games released technically on Friday, the latter half of Friday, and so showing up on Steam as coming out on the 18th. But we're not done, everybody. We have another day of reviews to go through, so we're going to do that pretty fast. I'm going to make sure that red light is off, so we do not get any pornography on the screen. I'm also going to resort this, so that is good. Good. Wait, no, that is the wrong day. Yes, wrong day. Again, make sure that red light is off. Yes. Okay. And we also have to remember that my numbers are going to be wrong for any free-to-play games. Okay, cool. All right. I'm getting a text message. Hold on. Okay. It's relevant for stuff later. Okay, cool. So we're gonna move on to ALS Fighter. Cool. So I remember this one. This is another one by XF Game, where they make kind of the same game over and over again. This sort of very narrow space shooter. It had no reviews on time of release. I estimated that it would get 2 reviews, and it still has only none. So overestimated this one. And then another company, which I think was maybe the same company but under a different name, made Agni Fighter, which was almost identical. It was extremely weird that these both came out, had different like official publishers and developers, but were like very clearly made by the same people. Or if they weren't, it is the weirdest coincidence ever. Again, I estimated like 2 reviews, and they got none. So overestimated again. Next one is Air Attack VR. Like, still don't know what's going on with that one. That's still a little weird. This one is a flying dogfighting game. It had no reviews, and I guessed it would get to 3, but it only got to 1. So again, I overestimated this one. It was in VR. I think my reasoning behind this one, me not estimating higher for this one, was that I thought it would make people sick. But then that's just me because I get sick in VR. Okay, our next one is Archer Hero Must Die. I think this was the... Whoops, a daisy? That's not correct. Right, which is this little game where you have to like... It's another one-button game where you shoot people off of things. I estimated that they would 2 reviews, but they got none, so they have almost no sales. Okay, next one is Boing. Boing. Oh, right. This is the like weird little octagonal defensive game where you like shoot out pieces of your octagon to destroy bullets. It's very strange. It had no reviews day of. I estimated it would get to 2, and it has got to 1. So it did find 1 review. That just says it bangs. Thank you, Lum Lum. All right. Next one is Crawl Space 2. Oh, come on, show us the actual game. All right, Crawl Space 2. Oh, right. This is the spooky horror game about going into somebody's crawl space. It had 3 reviews day of. I estimated it would get to 20 reviews, but because it is a free game, I don't have accurate information for today. So it only got to 7, but they were all positive. So looks like people like this one. It is a VR horror game, but I did overestimate it. So my habit of significantly overestimating how many how many sales / reviews a horror game will get continues, and I think that's because I always hedge my bets with horror games, especially if I'm offering only 1 review, because there's always the possibility that one of the big streamers or someone will pick it up and then it will get a bunch of sales. So I think that's probably why I'm estimating so high on them. Yeah. Okay, our next one is Dark Shrine. Dark Shrine is our next one, which had 2 reviews day of, and I estimated that it would get to 3. And it did get to 3. Right. So this was the little horror game that takes place entirely in this little torii shrine, like rows and rows of, I think they're called tories, the red gateways. Got to 3 reviews. It's short but cheap and it's fun. Nice. So my estimate, bang on, hooray, go me. I think that's the second out of like 40 of these. All right. Next game is definitely not fried chicken. Oh, I do remember this one. I remember this one because it was very cool. This one is the growing a narcotics empire from inside of a chicken restaurant game. It had 73 positive reviews. It had 90 reviews day of, and I estimated that it would get to 667. So I estimated quite a lot of sales for this one. It only got to 431, so it got pretty close, right? It sold between 3 and 6,000, and I do think that this game is going to keep selling, and it will eventually get somewhere close to this estimate. But yeah, I remember this game. I definitely thought it was really cool. It's about like you have you're making drugs in the back of your chicken restaurant. I thought it was hilarious. Yeah. Nice. All right. Our next one is Framemakers. I don't remember this one. Los Pollos Hermanos, the game. Yes, definitely. So Framemakers was a like indie game character smash. It had 172 reviews at release. I estimated it would get to 1,000 reviews, and I overestimated by twice. It only got to 550 reviews. It's possible that this one will eventually get to 1,000, but I don't know. I did like overestimate by quite a lot. Yeah, weird idea, but pretty cool. All right, next one is Grey's Counter GM. Don't remember this one. Had 10 positive reviews day of. Oh right, okay. So this is the like bullet hell sort of Tohu like game where you're like little anime girls piloting spaceships. It had 10 reviews day of. I guessed it would get to 133, and it didn't get there. But it did get to 65 reviews. So it sold. What's going on here? That's not accurate. That's not accurate at all. Is this just wrong? Has my estimates been this wrong? Yep, my estimates have been wildly wrong. Hold on a sec. We have mostly had very, very low numbers, so I didn't notice. But it should actually be O. And no, O4. There we go. And O4. Okay. Going to fix this so the numbers are better. Yeah, there we go. That's better. Where are we? Gray's counter. Yes. Okay, so they're right. Numbers I said were I thought those numbers were a bit low. All right. So definitely not fried chicken. It sold somewhere between 13,000 and 25,000. So it is much better than I said before. I said something like 2,000 to 6,000. Yeah, much more. Same thing with Rainmakers. They're somewhere between 16,000 and 33,000. And Grays, even though I overestimated how many it would sell, again, by about double, it is actually sold somewhere between 2 and 4,000. Nice. Okay. Our next game is, because it looked really cute. Like, this game looks just super adorable. Extremely cute little characters. And the gameplay itself does not look bad. So our next game is Green Valley, which was this rather minimalist farming game that had no reviews at time of. I said 7, and I was off. It continued to have no reviews, so it does not look like anyone played this game at all. Interesting. They only had 12 followers, and they had a very low follower per day. Interesting. Okay. Curious. Okay, our next one is Huntscape. Huntscape is a multiplayer 4v4 PvP survival. Right. So this is the rather bizarre game where you're playing like goats goring humans in a forest. I liked how it looked, but and the capsule. I love this bear guy. This bear is so cool. But it had no reviews day of. I guess that it would get to 3, but it has only managed to get to 1. Which means it has only sold between 30 and 60 games. This person likes playing as a goat and hitting people with their horns. Okay. Interesting. It's hard being a multiplayer game on Steam. Like, I know that people think multiplayer is a sales feature, and it kind of is, but man, you have to hit that hard. All right, next one is It Lurks, the noir horror RPG, which had 2 reviews at time of, and I guess it would get to 7. Right, it was this rather strange, noir horror RPG where you're like a noir detective guy shooting zombies with your revolver. Very strange. I guessed it would get to 7 reviews, and it did not. It stuck with 2. It does not look like it sold more copies since day of. Couple of reviews from people who got it for free. Yeah, because only 2 people bought it on Steam. The others are different kinds of purchases. Weird. Okay. Next one is Joshua's Legs. Joshua's Legs had 9 reviews day of. Oh, right. This was the really strange spider game. So you're like this 2-legged spider, and you're doing platforming. 2-legged spider. It had 9 reviews day of. I guessed it would get to 50 reviews, but it did not. Again, overestimated by almost twice as much. It only got to 22 reviews. Still a very weird one. Yeah, very strange. Okay, Kong Hero. This was the Sun Wukong, very simple looking platformer, right? Yes. So we have a very sort of Mario-esque platformer. It had no reviews day of. I guess it would get to 3, and I was wrong. It stays at 0. So nobody noticed or cared about this one. Okay, next one is Lake Heaven Chrysalis. Oh, right. Okay, this is a sort of deliberate homage to Silent Hill 2, and it's done very well. It had 20 reviews day of. I guessed it would get to 200, and it has almost gotten there. So my habit of overestimating horror games was not incorrect here. It got to 178 reviews, and I hope it keeps going, because this looked really cool. I'm actually going to add this to my wish list because I want to try this one out because it looked really cool. All right, next one is Mackie's Adventure. Right, this is being a little shape-shifting shark demon thing. It had 17 review days up. I guessed that it would get to 67, and I was wrong. It only picked up another 3 reviews since then, which is a bummer. That means that they did not have much of a tail on this one at all. Oh, right. Yeah. Again, very low follower per day count from a very long development cycle. That's gotta sting. Really sorry about that one, Zoro Arts. Because they only sold maybe 600 to 1,200 copies. That is a bummer. Okay, next one is Mystery Solitaire Grimstale 7, which was this solitaire game made by Bellin Games. They make a bunch of these solitaire games. We've seen a couple of them. It had no reviews day of, and it continues to have no reviews. I estimated it would have 2, based on their previous games, so it looks like this one did not work out for them. All right. Next one is Necobello. Necobello. I don't remember this one. Oh, right. You're the little. This is the one with the little cat. In an airplane, shooting at other cats who are holding balloons. It had no reviews day of. I estimated it would get to 2, and it did not. It still has no reviews. Bummer. Okay. Next one is Not Born to Be King. This is the Rain-like card game, I think. Yes. So this was you're a king, and it's mostly a text-based game where you're making decisions about like what to do in your kingdom. It had 1 review day of. I guess it would get to 3, and it got to 2. Yeah. Steam is rough on this kind of game. Okay, our next one is Osiris New Dawn. This one I have no memories of. Oh, right. Okay, so this is the space game that ended up being overwhelmingly negative because it exited early access after they kind of stopped updating it. It did have a ton of reviews because this was a 1.0 release out of early access, and it had been in early access since like 2016. So it had 13,547 total reviews on day of, and it seems to have lost reviews somehow. I don't know how that happened. I think probably I was on the day of, I was maybe collecting all reviews rather than just Steam purchases. Yeah, so there's about 2,000 Steam purchases, 2,000 other reviews that I was probably counting day of. So basically, I think that they have sold negligible additional copies. And yes, I think this was before I realized that if you release out of early access, if you have had a long early access period, you basically get no bump. You get a bump of like at most 10% afterwards. And if I'm being honest, I think probably what happens is that you get a bump, your sales just continue. Like you don't really get a launch off of 1.0. You just continue to sell whatever you were selling in your early access period afterwards. I don't think that you really get a bump from exiting early access. I'll have to check that. I think that people on the How to Market a Game Discord may have some information about that. Anyways, next game is Our Little Chase. Right, which is this very weird little fighting game, little like real-time strategy game kind of, with these funny little people with like anyway, you can see what this is. It had no reviews day of. I guessed it would get to 3, so about like 100 sales, and it didn't. It still has no reviews. So yeah, I think if you get no reviews day of, you're unlikely to get out of that hole. I think like you have to sell games day of. This is another one by probably the same people who did the Sun Wukong game, except this time you're a penguin. It had no reviews. I guessed it would get to 3, but it did not. It still has no reviews. Next one is Penguin Adventure. No, next one is Predictors. Predictors is, right, this hex-based, top-down, sort of like puzzle Diablo-like game. Yeah. It had 25 total reviews at time of, and yes, I definitely got this one wrong. I guessed it would get to 25. Oh, right. Actually, I seem to have guessed that it would get no more sales, and it appears not to, but it appears that I have like my different number of my different acquisition methods have mucked me up here, because it looks like it has lost a review, but it probably didn't. Instead, yes, there are 5 other purchase types. So I think it did actually get maybe 4 more reviews, but some of them are like received for free or something. So yes, I was kind of bang on this one, but probably not for the right reasons. All right. Our next one is called Tech Lie. Tech Lie. I remember this name, but I don't remember what it is. Tech Lie is a first-person shooter action game that progresses part by part, where you fight another dilute dimension as a scientist named as. Right. So this was a rather strange, like, robot shooting game. It had no reviews day of. I guessed it would get to 2, so like 50 or 60 sales, I think, but it did not get any sales. No reviews at all. Right. Next one is The Bad Kids. Right. Right. This was a visual, like an adventure indie visual novel horror game. I thought it looked cool, but like not particularly well translated into English. It had 145 reviews at time of. I guess it would get to 200, and I was low on this one. Yes, I don't know what I can pull out of this one aside from good-looking visual novels do tend to do okay. This one got to almost 400 total reviews, so I was down by 50% on this one. And it has sold like between 10 and 20,000 copies. So yeah. All right, cool. Next game is called The Duck Song Game. Oh, right. This was this like very cute little weird game where you're trying to like get all the lemonade and avoid the grapes, I think, with child drawings. I think I guess that it would sell 1, and it has actually sold 3. So I underestimated this one. I do wonder what the user reviews are. I bought it to just leave a positive review. So it looks like the 2 positive reviews may just be, I don't know, this person played it for 10 hours. It's a bit strange. Okay. All right, moving on to the dungeon rules. Okay, this is not telling me much. Dungeon rules is the most challenging game you can currently face. Right. So this was a sort of RPG Sokoban game. Very strange. It had no reviews day of. I guess it would get to 2, but I overestimated it. It actually got no reviews. So, moving on to Sokoban games. Really rough. Very hard to sell Sokoban games on Steam these days. So this is a hidden object horror game that had 7 reviews day of. I guess it would get to 50, but because it is free, I don't have actually accurate numbers. So my actual accurate numbers are 42 positive, 22 negative. So actually, I'm reasonably close to this one. I underestimated it by 20%. Yeah, it was a very cool looking, like, escape room game. I think what I said was like, this looks like an escape room game. It kind of needs to have escape in the title, I think. Yeah. All right, cool. Next one is called The Secret Pyramid VR. Right, this was the mummy shooting game in VR. So this is a VR game where you shoot mummies. It's an early access. Had 9 reviews day of. I guess it would get to 50, but it did not. It only got to 15. So, again, I think I'm overestimating the influence of VR. I don't think that I need to apply like a VR factor to my estimates. All right, and our last game for today is Ultra Fishing. Ultra Fishing, fishing simulator in a realistic world. It had very beautiful environments, I seem to remember. And then, rather bizarrely, the actual game, right, this one was so weird. It had this really beautiful trailer where it had all these very beautiful environments with really, really good looking water. And then its other trailer, the one where you can actually see the gameplay, the water looks terrible. That one was so weird. Okay. It had 1 positive, 1 negative review day of. I guess it would get to 7, but it did not. In fact, it looks like 2 of the reviews that were in my initial list were other purchasers, or 1 of the other reviews. So it actually just has 1 review, or 1 Steam purchase review. Huh. I'm gonna cough a lot. Hold on. Okay. Well, that was the 2 days of review and a whole bunch of me yelling about review numbers. Sorry, everybody. I know that's a bit weird, but hey, this whole project's a bit strange. Yeah. I think that's it. After adjusting for the fact that I was unable to get free-to-play numbers correctly, it looks like we have exactly 50-50. 6 games got some reviews, 6 games got none, and I guess we'll see how they fare as they go on over the next month. I wish you all a very happy Sunday, and I will see you again tomorrow.